The NFL playoffs are starting today, and you know I'm excited. It's my favorite time of year. We officially begin the road to Super Bowl 57, and I think this year's playoffs is going to be so great because there is parity in the NFL this year. There's no clear favorite. It's like anybody could win it this year, and when sports are like that, it's always at its best. It's unpredictable, and it's actually pretty funny I say that because today, what I'm going to try to do is predict the entire NFL playoffs. We're going to go from the wild card round all the way to the Super Bowl until at the end, we will have who I think will be this year's Super Bowl champion. We're gonna go through the whole bracket, give my winners for each and every game, and yeah, we're definitely going to need some time for this. So with all that being said, let's get into it. Let's start off on the AFC Wild Card side of the bracket where we have a very intriguing matchup in the Jaguars taking on the Chargers in Jacksonville. And I've got to be completely honest, when it comes to a prediction for this game, I really don't know. This is a very even game for me. I could see it going either way. Both of these teams are very similar. They're both pretty well solid overall teams led by young star quarterbacks. But when push comes to shove, when you line up both of these teams against each other, I believe the Chargers are more talented and more experienced than the Jaguars are. And in a game like this where it's very close, I believe that is the X factor. And I think that will get the Chargers the win here. I believe the Chargers are equipped for a deep playoff run. They've got most of their players back from injury. They did just lose Mike Williams because of dumb coaching. They're missing Mike Williams this week, so that definitely will be big for them. But for the most part, they've gotten their guys back. Rashawn Slater is going to be playing this game, which is huge for them. And like I said, more talent, more experience in a game like this, it just gives me more confidence in the team that has that. The Jaguars are very unproven to me, and I just don't have enough confidence in them. So yeah, I'm going with the Chargers this game. I do believe that it will be close, though. I don't think any team wins by more than 6 points this game. As for the rest of the AFC Wild Card, though, it's pretty easy, and I don't want to spend too much time on it. Bengals versus Ravens in Cincinnati. Yeah, it's just hard for me to go against the Bengals this game. First of all, Lamar Jackson is out. He will not be playing tonight, and you guys know how I feel about the Ravens without Lamar. Not good at all. But I will say, these two teams played last week, and while the Bengals did win by 11 points, it was pretty much the Ravens practice squad that they beat. So that does pose a little bit of a very small question for this game, but I have so much confidence in the Bengals right now. They're at home. They're playing with fire right now, and the Ravens are just too banged up without their quarterback for me to have any sort of confidence in them whatsoever. Give me the Bengals to end the Ravens season here. And then we have probably the biggest lock of the entire playoffs. The Bills taking on the Dolphins. The Dolphins do not have Tua. It's in Buffalo. I don't even want to waste any more time on this one. Give me the Bills by 40. Let's move on to the NFC Wild Card to talk about another lock of a game where we have the Niners taking on the Seahawks. And I just see no world where the 49ers lose this game. I will say, it will probably be very competitive. It's definitely going to be a lot more competitive than Dolphins-Bills will be. But like I said, there's just no way the 49ers lose. They are stacked. I'm not going to call them a super team, but they're pretty damn close to it. Yeah, I got them getting rid of the Seahawks pretty easily. And now we move on to a lot more interesting of a game. The Vikings taking on the Giants. Oh boy. Last time these two teams played, we all know what went down. It was a very close game where the Vikings just barely pulled it out. And I think this game is going to play out very similar to that one. The Giants are a good team. They are a good team that knows how to stay competitive in their games. They're gritty, they have great coaching, but this entire Giants team, along with Brian DeBoer, have almost zero playoff experience. And I think that's going to kill them this game. A lot of people are saying that the Giants are going to pull off the upset here. I do not see it happening. Like I said, I think it will be close and very competitive, but when push comes to shove, kind of like the Jaguars-Chargers game, I just think the Vikings are a far more talented team. And I don't see them losing here. I don't. I know a lot of people are calling them frauds. They probably are, but they're not going to be first round exits. I think the Vikings will win this game. And if they don't, well, damn, they just wasted a very fun season. But now we move on to probably the biggest game this week, where we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Oh man, I'm scared. Why am I scared? Because playoff Tom Brady. Everything in me wants the Cowboys to win because I do not want to see Tom Brady go on another playoff run. But the fact is, he's Tom Brady. Yes, the Buccaneers have a below 500 record. Yes, they're a mid team. But they still got in the playoffs due to being in one of the worst divisions in football. And they're in the playoffs. Playoff Tom Brady. Many people are doubting the Cowboys and siding with the Buccaneers because, like I said, the Cowboys are chokers and the Buccaneers have a man named Tom Brady. But I feel like playoff Tom Brady won't be here this game. After the Cowboys defense having a very disappointing end to the season, I think they will revive themselves. I think they will resurrect and come with it this game. Because if the Cowboys want a shot to win this game, they're going to need that defense to be playing the way they were playing through the first 8 weeks of the season. They don't got to worry about the run. The Buccaneers do not have a running offense whatsoever. So focus on the pass, send your edge rushers hot off the edge, pressure Tom Brady, mess up his throws. You do that, you're already set up good. And their offense, all they have to do is just capitalize and execute off of what their defense should give them. They do that, I think the Cowboys will win this game. It's not hard. It's not. It's just people are so intimidated by Tom Brady. But this year's Buccaneers team is not that good, and I think I've got a good formula to beat them. I just don't see it in the Buccaneers this game. Am I blinded by bias? Yes, absolutely. But I don't care. It's my prediction. It's what I think is going to happen. It's what I want to happen. I'm going with the Cowboys this game. Will this backfire on me? Probably, but I don't care. I'm going with what my heart tells me. Now, this is where things get stressful. We're moving on to the divisional round of the playoffs. Let's start off with the AFC. Let's start off with the Chiefs versus the Chargers. If this game does happen, it will be the way every other game between these two teams go. It will be a great, fun, entertaining game. It will also end the same way every game between these two teams goes. Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes prove legal ownership of the Chargers and break all 12 Chargers fans' hearts. I want the Chargers to go on a deep playoff run, and I think they can do it, but it will be very hard, and I think it's very unlikely, especially if they have to play the Chiefs in the divisional round. So yeah, Chiefs versus Chargers. If this happens, give me the Chiefs. But then we get into something that is going to be crazy. Bills versus Bengals, AFC Divisional Round. Oh my God. Week 17, going into that Monday Night Football game between these two teams, I had a feeling that the Bengals were going to win. I don't know what it was, but I just thought the Bengals were going to be able to pull it out. Obviously, that game did not finish. Since then, I still remain very high on the Bengals, but I don't know why. Out of nowhere, I just got extremely high on the Bills. There is something different about this Bills team. I just feel it. And if this game happens, it will be an amazing game, an all-time classic, but one of these two teams have to go home. And out of these two, I am much more confident in the Bills. They would also be at home playing behind that Buffalo crowd. It would just be too hard for me to bet against the Bills. If this matchup happens, I got the Bills winning. It would be a heartbreaking end to the Bengals season, one that I am not ready to see, but I think it will happen. Then we got the NFC Divisional Round, starting with the Eagles versus the Cowboys. Oh yes. Last time these two teams played was on Christmas Eve, and it was a great game, an offensive, close, down-to-the-wire shootout. If it wasn't for a few mistakes that were crucial here and there for the Eagles this game, they could have very much won. I don't want to take away that game from the Cowboys. They played great. Their offense was amazing. Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Zeke, everybody played great. But the Eagles did not have Jalen Hurts this game. If this game was to happen in the NFC Divisional Round, the Eagles would obviously have Jalen Hurts. And I think that man is the X factor for this game. Now, with that said, I do not think it is that simple. This will probably be a completely different game to what happened in Christmas Eve. But when it comes down to it, you look at this Eagles team, they are good. They have so much depth, and they have like Pro Bowl caliber players in every position. It's crazy. They're another team kind of like the 49ers, where I'm not going to call them a super team, but they're the closest thing to it. And behind that Philadelphia crowd, which is where this game is going to be played, it is almost impossible for me to go against this Eagles team. I think the Cowboys have it in them where they could pull off a win against the Eagles here, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not going to predict it. This game happens in the divisional round. Give me the Eagles. And the Cowboys will have, once again, another disappointing end to their season. And then 49ers versus Vikings. I wish this game could be unpredictable, but it's not. The Vikings are truly frauds. And I got them getting that win against the Giants in the first round. I don't got them doing it again against the 49ers. Not much explanation I want to do with this game. I feel like if this game happens, we all know who's going to win. The 49ers. So let's get into the conference championship game. Starting off with the AFC Conference Championship. The Chiefs versus the Bills. If this game happens, there is no home field advantage for anybody. It's being played in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. But even if it was in Buffalo or Kansas City and Arrowhead, it doesn't matter to me. If this game happens, the Bills are winning. I'm tired of the Chiefs' reign of terror. And like I said, this Bills team is different this year. You know who the Chiefs would really miss in this game? Tyreek Hill. They don't have that man anymore. Key in on Travis Kelce, send heat to Mahomes, and expose their C-tier defense. When this happens, the Bills will win. And they will be AFC champions. NFC Championship, Eagles versus 49ers. The battle of the two teams that I said are pretty damn close to super teams. And this actually kind of sucks for me because I've set this game up through my predictions and now I have absolutely no idea who I think would win. But you know what? I'm going to be going with what I've felt like this entire season. This entire season, I felt like the 49ers are the most dangerous team in the NFL. I felt like they are the best team in the NFC. The Eagles are a very close second, but they are unproven to me, especially when it comes to the playoffs. The 49ers, though, we've seen them come closer and closer and closer to the Super Bowl each and every season recently. And those 49ers teams, I'm going to be completely honest, were nowhere near as talented as this 49ers team. Yeah, they would have a tough-ass matchup in the Eagles, but they can pull it off. Brock Purdy will continue his Linsanity run, and the 49ers will walk out of this game as NFC champions. And now, after going through my predictions for the entire playoffs, we end up at the big game. Sunday, February 12th, Super Bowl 57, which I think will be the Bills versus the 49ers. And this game is way too far out for me to even talk about what I think will even happen in the game. So let me just tell you who I think will win. The Buffalo Bills. You heard it here. The Buffalo Bills will defeat the San Francisco 49ers in Super Bowl 57 to win their first championship. I thought the Bills were going to win the Super Bowl since the start of the season. And after the end of the regular season and the start of the playoffs, I still hold up on that prediction. I think the Bills will win this game, and it will be probably the most meaningful game in NFL history. What this franchise, what this team has gone through in its existence, they deserve something like this to happen. And like I said, I think it very much will. So that was my 2022 NFL playoff predictions. Will all of this backfire on me? Yes. In reality, it's probably going to be rigged to be Chiefs versus the Bucks. But who cares? The Bills will be your Super Bowl 57 champs. That's all I got to say. Peace.